Hi there, my name's Helen Harrison. I'm a marriage therapist, and what I see a lot in my room is people identifying that they feel lost, they've lost their identity, they feel like they're just going through the motions or just going through the waves of life. That another way they put it is they feel like a hamster sort of on this wheel, on this treadmill. So where am I going with this? Today I want to talk about the extra characters that individuals can play out in their marriage and in their relationship. And I believe that there is no room for extra characters in your marriage. And so today I'm going to talk about the different characters that we play. And ultimately it's about noticing what they are in yourself and being able to slowly over time understand how you act them out, where have they come from, and also how it's affecting you and the quality of your life and the quality of your marriage and of your relationship. So characters, what do I mean by characters? We as humans, when we're little, let's go right back. When we're little, we look outside of ourselves to seek love. We're just programmed that way. And so if I behave a certain way, the guardian or caregiver or parents will give you love. However, in a perfect world, we would all receive love and everything would be great. However, it's not a perfect world, is it? And so we can start adjusting ourselves and becoming somebody a little bit different. So call it a character. And it's understanding how it plays out in you, because it doesn't work. If you're in a marriage, you are going to feel not overly authentic or real or your true self or know your identity. So it's really, really important that you uncover the characters that you play. And then with that, why would you do that? Because you're going to be so much more authentic and real and know your yeses and nos, and you're not doing anything to please anybody else. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the different characters that you may be playing and also your partner may be playing. But if you have listened to any of my work, you will know that we have absolutely no control over anybody else. We can have judgments, we can have expectations, and we can live in the potential of who we would like someone to be, but we actually have no control over anybody else. And so if you are with someone who perhaps is a pleaser, or perhaps is a rescuer or a martyr or a judge, you've got no control over that person. And that is their business, how they behave and what they do. The only one you can work with is you. So I'm going to dive straight in. I'm going to start talking about these characters. And my hope from this video is that you may identify, oh yeah, I do play some of these characters, because once you can bring it to the surface and be aware of your part and what you do, you can then begin changing. All right, the first place I'm going to go to is the martyr. And when we are a martyr, we sacrifice ourselves for others. And if I sacrifice and be there for you, ultimately what's under all of it is that you hopefully will receive some love back. However, when you're a martyr, your self-care, your self-love for yourself is way down the pecking order. The order of love. You're way down the bottom. You sacrifice. You're a martyr. You'll know people in your world. And what does that do to you long term? You become a shell of who you used to be. You lose your identity. You really do. I could talk on this subject for a long time, but you will know people in your world who are martyrs. We're very good at identifying it in other people, however not so good in identifying it in yourself. And so if you're a martyr, are you sacrificing? Are you the first one to put your hand up for everything and everybody? However, at the end of the night, when you put your head on the pillow, you're smashed, you're burnt out, you're exhausted, because you go, and you sacrifice. So that's the first character that I want to talk about. The second one is I don't see that in my room so much. Is, are you detached? Are you a recluse? And this is coming from a place of the fear of rejection. It's just, I'll just stay within me, and I couldn't possibly put myself out there because there will be the fear of rejection. Look, all of these characters that we play are wound based, and they come from childhood. So it's so much of the card we've been dealt from childhood is what we play out as adults, and often very unconsciously. And so it's bringing it to light and sort of understanding. But if you are a recluse or you stay away, you may be introverted, yes, but if it's coming from a wound base in you, this isn't very, what's the word? It's not a great team player or partnership as a couple if you're acting out, if you're playing this role. The next character that I see a lot of is the pleaser. And put my hand up for that one. I've been a jolly good pleaser for a very, very large part of my life. And it's because we are looking for love out there by doing. You know, I've talked about this a lot. For me, it was set up when I was really little. I would constantly be doing little chores or doing my homework, and, you know, pleaser, you could call it a goody-goody, but if I do well, then you will give me words of affirmation and then I will feel loved. But it's sad, actually, because when we're a pleaser, we actually don't know how to please ourselves. My pattern was set up way when I was little, being adopted. I was constantly looking for reassurance. Give me some love. Oh, I'll set the table for dinner, or I'll play with my brothers and sisters, or I'll mow the yard. So doing, and then you will give me some love. However, it never actually landed and filled me. So I'll do more. So that's a pattern that's been set up, and I'm only just in and under and let that one go now. Which is extraordinary. But anyway, so the next character I want to talk about is the self-righteous person. And when you're self-righteous, you have to be right at all costs. And it's very, very hard if you're on the receiving end. If you are with a self-righteous partner in your marriage and in your relationship, you may learn over time to just sort of shut down what you feel. So self-righteous people, you have to be right, not happy. And if you are also with a self-righteous person, it's like you're going to have a lot of turmoil. There's going to be a lot of conflict and disagreements. And when you're self-righteous, you can't see reasons. I've got to be right. And I see it when I have couples come in, because, you know, as a therapist, you're constantly reading the non-verbal, the verbal, and all the energy and everything that goes with that. And self-righteous people, they're hard ones to work with, because they're people who aren't able or willing, and of course it's all wounded base. This all started when you were little. But look, if you're listening to this and you're self-righteous, bringing some softness into it, and it isn't even just, oh yeah, I could be that. That could be the first place that you could start. So another character is a bragger. It's very ego-based, and a bragger, you're constantly showing off. However, it does come from a very insecure part in you, because I've got to show off. Because if I show off, then you're going to give me something. You're going to give me, wow, that's really cool. And then that fills you up. However, it's again wound-based, and you haven't learned how to fill your own cup up. This is a pattern that you started when you were younger. Bragger, particularly as you get into adulthood, and if you're in a marriage, you've got to ask yourself, is that really working for me? Next character I want to talk about is the victim. And you constantly tell your story. I'm going to put my hand up for that one. I was the ultimate victim, poor little old me. And, you know, if anybody showed any type of pity, let me tell you my story, and then you would give me something and I'd feel a little bit better. But staying in the victim, it's very disempowering, it's lower energy, it's stifling, it's toxic, it's, if you put a colour to it, it's black. And victim, if you're listening to this and you are a victim, place to start is to begin noticing every time you drop into the victim type mentality. Because what is the opposite of victim? The opposite of victim is victor or victorious. And it is a total decision to shift that energy from that victim into the victorious. And that victim can be quite a hard one to, I suppose, acknowledge. I had that for a long time. Yes, again, very wound-based. However, it's not a good thing to have in a marriage. It really isn't. It's not empowering. It's not life-giving. It is actually life-taking. So, another character that you may be playing out in your marriage is you are I've got a hair hanging down, you are a rescuer. So what's a rescuer? You'll know what a rescuer is. You are constantly attracted to people who need your help and assistance. So often you are attracted to victims because victims need help and support because they can't do it themselves. So if you are a rescuer, this is not a very empowering character or role. It stops you from actually connecting to yourself. And again, all of these characters, I'm naming them. That's really all I'm doing. And it's for you to notice, oh yes, I am that character in my marriage, and making a decision to change it. Another character that people play is a masked person, and you adjust yourself depending on who you're in front of. Put my hand up for that. I was brilliant at putting on masks. I learned how to do that from a very young age. You know, the I'm okay mask. And I wasn't okay. I wasn't okay on any level, but I was very good at parking it away and hiding it. Call it disassociation. And rejecting myself because I had felt a lot of rejection. So, and that is the case for a lot of people who mask up. I can feel it energetically, the masks that are around people. For me, I love being around people who are fully present, fully landed in their body, enlightened, evolved, conscious, whatever you want to call it. But it's you don't have a mask. Again, it's protection. We put a mask on to protect ourselves. And, you know, I've been at this for a really, really long time, and I hope that I live a lot more unmasked. All right, I'm just going to go to one more character that I see in my counselling room is you're a judge, all right, and you spend your time judging everyone. And so in marriage, is that supporting you? How supportive is that to you as an individual person? When we judge, you actually will be quite self-critical and you'll give yourself a hard time, because anybody who judges, it is a projection of actually what's going on inside of you. And so to be in an empowered marriage and a very life-giving marriage, if you're with a judge, if you're on the receiving end of that, that's pretty damn tough, because ultimately it's getting to a place of acceptance. You know, you cannot control or change anybody else, and it's being able to move that judge. So a lot of these characters are wound-based. They are wounds from childhood. We now have them present in our adult life, in our relationship, and in our marriage. So my question I'd ask yourself is, what do you want? And what are you willing to do to get what you want? And what is the price for you to get what you want? So if you open that up a little bit, you may have recognised that, and you may already know this, okay, I am a pleaser. So what do I want? I want to, and how would you answer that? So it may be able to listen to my own head, heart and gut, and to stop that cycle of pleasing, that sometimes I've got to sit in the uncomfortableness and know that perhaps someone is upset or doesn't like what you've said, but you've been honest, you've been true. So I'm going to round up. In these characters, it's a way to avoid ourselves. It's a way of not coming home to ourselves and what's going on inside of us. If I'm out there, meaning out there, and if I'm in these roles, I can numb down, I can disassociate, I can reject, I can abandon myself. Ultimately, it's being able to drop those roles and to be able to come home to yourself. That's the key in all of this, because with being able to have a stronger, richer, more authentic relationship with yourself, you are then going to be so much more present, grounded, centered in a marriage and in a relationship, and your partner will actually see you and feel you, and you will do the same. So, hope this has been helpful, and you're more than welcome. Go to my website, powerofchange.com. I've got Facebook, Instagram, online courses. I also offer counselling online or face-to-face in Brisbane, Queensland. And I will continue to go on about marriages and living an empowered marriage, and to constantly come home to yourself so that you feel empowered within yourself, because the power of change is within you. See ya.